welcome my brother, Mark Ewen. How you doing, Mark? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Still on a high. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. This is brilliant because we tried to link up with you before you went over there to Dublin and get your debut, but it was fight week and you couldn't. We just couldn't put it together. You had to get on the plane and everything else. In a way, I'm kind of glad we did because you've now got that out of the way, and we've got a fresh Mark, and you're looking fresh, by the way, man. Seriously.
I
I don't know who your hairdresser is, but they did you a solid, man. They did you a solid. You know
appreciate
what I mean?
that, bro.
Yeah, man. So how was the trip? How was the whole preparation going over there? Because I realized how hectic the schedule was for you.
It was big, man. It was amazing. I said to people before that I started a lot of pressure on myself in the lead up to that fight because I knew it was going to be such a big occasion for me, and it was exactly that. Like I had like interviews like with the Herald and that before it.
Yeah.
Obviously, one thing I was second on the card. I would like to be a bit further on the card so there was more of a crowd to see me. But the performance, I think, speaks for itself. The full week, everything fell into place. The fight, everything fell into place. It just exactly the way that I had visualized and had dreamed it would go. It went exactly like that, mate. And I'm so grateful and I feel so blessed to do what I do and to call this my job and have experiences like that. Do you know what I mean? Now, for a Bellator debut, I don't think they can really get much better than that
Yeah.
unless it was a walk-off KO, but it's up there. I still got the finish. Do you know what I mean? A great performance. I got to show a good account of myself.
Yeah. Bro, it's one of those as you're watching, and before I'd even really got into the fight itself, getting, because the last time we spoke, you come off the EFC promotion. You did a thing over there with Aries, and then you had this Bellator news coming. It was probably one of the best news that you dropped on your social. Like, boy, but we got something cooking over here with Bellator. You man better be on the standby and look out for the debut, man. But when you got the Bellator news and the debut, was it a multi-fight deal? Was it a one-time deal? Is it something that we can keep looking forward to for the next 2-3 fights of yours with Bellator? Well, I wanted to know the parameters of your contract there with
So
Bellator.
yeah, so it's a multi-fight deal. I said that's obviously the first
Oh
fight, but
yes,
it's like a six-fight number. Do you know what I mean? I'll be there for a good bit, so you can
nice.
expect to see me climb the ranks and beat some big names and do
Okay,
whatever to stay there and get the title, whatever Bellator plan to do, I'll be with them.
all
So
right, fantastic.
and they can keep me active, which is the main thing. That was the biggest thing with me signing with them. A
Mm,
big promotion like that was I needed a bit of certainty having the child in that as well, having the baby.
yes,
I needed
congratulations.
I needed income. I needed to know when I was going to fight. I needed certainty, and Bellator
Mm,
could offer me that. They could offer me a certain amount of fights per year and a
mhm.
certain amount of money. And I was like, boom, that's exactly what I'm needing at the moment. So sign the dotted line, and now here we are, one fight in.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And this is a feather in the hat for your gym as well. Higher level MMA. I fuck with your gym a lot. I mean,
Yes.
with some of the people that were over there, and the thing that I love most about how you operate is the belief in yourself and always being able to back your ability, being able to back yourself. Because if you ain't backing yourself, who's really gonna do it? You gotta show everybody first, and that's one of the biggest trait that I take from what you do. Now going into Bellator, you got this opponent. Was there anything that in preparing for him was probably different to some of the fighters that you've seen before, or what was it one of those where it's nothing we've seen before? It's especially with your coaches, and we know how diligent they are. Is it one of those like, "Nah, it's nothing we've not handled before. You're just gonna go in there business as usual."
I think it was a bit of both. Like it wasn't really like he's something we've seen before. He's something we've came across before, but it was going to be different because we knew he was coming in there, knowing that I was kind of the A side, and he had like a chip on his shoulder. He's coming in knowing like I think he's only maybe saying a one fight deal or something. So I know he was coming to win. I know he was undefeated 4-0, coming to win, coming to try and beat me, knowing it's going to be a kind of a home crowd for me. So we knew he was going to be tough and he was going to be good. He's 4-0. He's got 4 finishes. He's a young boy. He's hungry. So we knew that going in, but when we prepare for fights, it's always the same anyway. And I don't mean the same when it comes to the preparation. I mean in the mindset type thing. Like we're always looking to evolve each camp. So each camp is harder than the one before. Like each time it's just going to get harder for me. I'm going to develop my skills. I'm going to get better and better and better because we're constantly evolving. It's not like no camp is the same. Like if I believe the me now or in that camp there would smoke any other mark that's fought before. Do you know what I mean? We're constantly evolving, constantly getting better, and I feel like you need to be like that if you want to be like a world elite or one of these top fighters or a world champion. You need to be constantly evolving and constantly kind of looking at your flaws and even your strengths and working on them and making them better. But as for Noah, like I never watched any footage of him on the lead up to the fight, none at all. I left it to my coaches, and they prepare me the best way they can, and they know that I'm going to give them 100%, and I'm going to give myself 100% to make sure that I'm in the best possible shape. Because it's never Noah that I'm focused on. It's never the opponent that I focus on when I go into a fight. It's always just beating the me from the last camp. It's always just beating me. If I beat Mark Ewan, there's no one that can fuck with me. I know that. You know what I mean? If I just compete with myself and make sure I'm a better version of myself each time I go in there, there's no one that's really going to give me too much problems. So it's each time I just try to get better in every way I can. As for Noah, he really showed up. He that was the best Noah I think. They could have been in that fight. And he done well. He got me down and stuff like that. Fair play to him. But there was no way he was going to beat me on that night.
Yeah, I mean, so some of the strikes you was letting off. I mean, you probably seen it on our Insta reel and our YouTube reels as well, and our shorts where we done a nice little compilation.
Yeah.
Your question mark kick. I mean, your elbows. Some of the strikes you were delivering all to devastating effect. But is there? Can I ask you? And this is not about like in terms of preparation, but like when you prepare for fights and you look, do you have like rituals? Do you have like just something that you always do? Or is there something you did differently this time? What was it? Because I know I've seen you in fights with confidence, but this one here was like supreme confidence. Like I want to show everybody like what got you into that mood to be able to just flow the way you did and deliver the finish that you got, to be able to wipe your feet off on Noah and walk away.
There's loads of stuff that I do. Loads of little. I'll say rituals, but I don't like the word because ritual means like you need it, and if you don't do it, you won't succeed. But there's loads of stuff that I do before I fight, and the biggest one I'll say is I'd been in that cage so many times. I'd won that fight so many times. I'd celebrated like that exactly to a T so many times in my head beforehand. Like I'd visualised that every single day since near enough the fight got booked. Me being inside the free arena, inside that circular cage with the monster in the middle, the referee putting my hand up. I'd seen it all in vivid colour and the sounds and everything. I'd seen it all so clearly inside my head before I went in and fought Noah on the 23rd of September. I'd already won. I just had to kind of get myself out of the way and let my subconscious take care of it because it already happened.
Got you. That's
So that's what I'll give you. That's what I'll give you. That's the only ritual I'm going to give. The rest are little secrets.
Yeah, man, that works for us. That works for us, man. We'll have to take that, man. We'll take that. I mean, that is it's a whole different kind of way of looking at it, because it's almost, you're almost like having a deja vu moment in there, because you've already foreseen it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So everything happening in real time is like it's it's almost like no big deal because you already been there in your head, and that's a fascinating way of dealing with something like this. The other question I wanted to ask you is when you're at a camp, because I follow you on social media, I see the work you do, but more than the work you do, the shape that you stay in is ridiculous. Oh, like and this ain't no throwing no shade or nothing because I respect the fuck out all fighters and how they go about their business. But like, say a typical example I would say is like when Paddy is out of camp, we know he's out of camp.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're out of camp, it look like you got a fight tomorrow. Like, bro, how do you juggle that to just stay ready, be ready, and so you almost like you don't got to be ready. You're always there. Please
it's a
talk to.
it's a lifestyle. Like you never know when you're going to get a call, or you never know when someone can pull it and the perfect opportunity comes. I think with I'm trying to that quote about like luck. It's like when preparation meets opportunity. That's what they call luck. Do you know what I mean? So you need to be prepared. I'm always feel like you need to be in good shape and ready to go whenever at the drop of a hat. So I like to always be within touching distance of my weight. Do you know what I mean? I know I can make my weight class or I can make a catch weight close to it. I didn't like to get too heavy. And I think vainly, or I just don't like to see myself getting a belly. If I was to start getting a belly, I'd be like, what the fuck, man? Do you know what I mean? I'd be like, I like being in good shape. I like feeling good. I feel like when I eat shit too much, I start to feel shit, and then my mindset goes, and I just don't feel my best. I feel like I am my best self when I'm working towards a goal, and I'm in good shape. So I just try and stay in that kind of mindset and physical like condition at all times because that's where I feel my best. And you want to be your best when you're living your life. Obviously, there is times like right now, like I've literally just fought and I go on holiday tomorrow. Like I'm eating what I want right now, but I'll eat some shit here and there because life's for living. Like you never know when it's going to go. Everyone's got an expiry date. Do you know what I mean? So I like to enjoy myself now and then. I'll go for food with the missus and stuff like that. I'll indulge in stuff, but never too much that it gets out of hand and that I've got a belly and then that I can't make weight or I go back to training and it's hard. I like to just always be in shape. Do you know what I mean? I like to always be ready because I just love fighting and it's my life. Like I don't know anything else. The biggest thing I would say is a lifestyle. You need to be in camp year round. I don't do fight camps. Like I always say this. I just train my full life. I train year round.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like I said, I follow you. I see what you do. And for people that are watching this that don't follow Mark, I don't know what you're doing. Go over there. If you really want to see how a proper pro is supposed to, like you said, do it all year round. Go on Mark's page. Just watch what he does. Like this is an all year round thing. It's not
But
a
like
just
you said there, bro, like professional. Like if you're a professional, you should be professional. So that means take it serious and be in shape year round. It's these amateurs and these guys that aren't taking shit seriously that are getting out of shape. Paddy's an example. Do you know what I mean? He fights maybe fucking once a year, twice a year at a push because he's so out of shape or something. Like fuck that. I want to fight 4 fights a year minimum. So that means I need to be in shape.
Yeah.
Professionals keep themselves in shape so they can fight. It's their job. Your job is to be in shape. So why not be in shape? Take it seriously. I do anyway.
Well, we can definitely attest to that, man, and more power to you. Long may it continue. Before I get on to my next question, I wanted to ask you how your teammate from higher level did in that competition that they put up on social media, and people from the MMA community came together and try and put something together for that. I didn't really follow up on how they got on. I just wanted to ask you how those guys got on, if they came back okay and they're all in good health, and some of them got, well, maybe all of them got the results they wanted. Hopefully everything went nicely for those guys. I just wanted to ask about the guys from higher level MMA. Your gym.
Yes. So it was a Four Nations tournament. So that's like Ireland, Wales, England, and Scotland all competing against each other. My teammate Lorenzo was competing at lightweight, welterweights, 77 kilos. Cause on the day you weigh in, he won the full thing. He won his 3 fights against England, Wales, and Ireland, and he got 3 finishes. Like smoked everyone, mate.
Fantastic.
And we weren't surprised because that's just how we roll at this point. And then my teammate Coonley, I'm sure he came second or third.
Yes.
I think he lost his first fight, then he won his other 2. He sustained a kind of an eye injury in one of the fights. His eye was all swollen up.
That Kunle Lawal? Kunle Lawal?
Yeah, yes. Nigerian guy, yeah. And then Tunde, I think Tunde came second in his bracket as well.
Right.
And then that's the only three we had competing, I'm sure. I can't remember.
Yeah, man.
If it is, they're probably going to be raging at me. But aye, we went down there and cleared
Yeah,
up, man. That's exactly how we expected to do.
no, respect to those guys. Fantastic for them. Respect to them, and we're going to be keeping an eye on all the other endeavors that they that they get themselves into and get themselves up for, man. And big up to yourself as well for really putting the word out there, because I probably wouldn't have seen it if you hadn't put it on your social media for us to support. So that was.
And we appreciate you obviously donating, and that means a lot, because these guys are amateur at the moment, so they're not getting paid. It's hard to get sponsors, hard to sell yourself, and MMA is still quite a new sport. So these guys, they needed that donation, they needed every penny to go down there and compete and chase their dreams, just like I am. You know what I mean? I'm professional now, but they're amateur, and I was once in their shoes. I know what it's like, so I need to help them any way I can. It's an obligation.
Of course, and it's for us, it's more of whatever you can do to support your community, the community you claim to love so much, whether they big time, whether they're just coming up, whether they're only just making it. It's still a community, man, and I felt like we ought to do something to help these boys, and I'm so proud of what they went over there and achieved as well. And thank you very much, like I said, for pointing us in that direction and posting on your socials, man. That was
Thank you, bro.
So on to my couple more questions before we get out of here. We just seen the way that you've showed up on your debut in Bellator. How quick is the turnaround? And I know you said you want to fight 3-4 years. Can we see you before the end of the year?
I hope so.
By the end of the year, is that on the cards?
If I have my say, it'll be by the end of the year, but I'd love to get in there December. I would love to get one more in, because, like I said, had the baby at the start of the year. I've just fought there September. There's still another few months in the year. Let's try and squeeze another one. I can get another wee quick camp in, no problem. I'm training all the time anyway, so let's get one more fight in before the year's out, and then obviously shows don't really get up and running again next year until maybe end of February, March. So I can't wait that long. I'll be fighting then, but I can't wait that long. I'd like to get December in. We'll see.
Right.
I've messaged the matchmaker for Bellator, and I said to him, bro, let's get fucking cracking. Let's see what's coming up. Let's see who's about. I'm ready to go in December if you can get me on.
That's brilliant to know, man.
And I want to stack the teas up as well. I'm like, come on,
of course, of course. Yeah, at the end of the day, people don't always, they don't. It's like they just think fighters, but every time I look at you guys, I see prize fighters. You man are fighting for something. You fight for a prize. You try to put money on the table. There's a reason why. It's one thing entertaining us armchair fans, right? But going out there and really putting food on the table and earning your money and earning your crust to feed your family and support your family, that's what it's all about, man. And like you said, you need to start stacking up them peas. Baby is here now. You've got a nice unit of family, and they look on you to bring the bacon on them. So this is the way to do it. So salute to you, man. Easy just lost to Sean Strickland, and I love talking to you about fights that ain't got nothing to do with you, because you come with some objective way of showing us what's what. Now, Easy losing to Sean Strickland, did it surprise you at all? And if it didn't, what impressed you about Strickland in that fight, and what did you expect from Easy that he probably didn't do in that fight? And the follow-up to that, does he deserve an immediate rematch?
I'll start off finishing the last question. I don't think he deserves an immediate rematch, because he lost so decisively. Like, it was basically unanimous, I would say. But if anyone's going to beat Izzy, and how you beat his style with counter fighting and faking and kind of picking opponents apart, it's the exact style that Sean Strickland has, where it's forward pressure and he drowns you. You don't get a chance. You don't get a time. You don't get time to think, time to adapt, time to readjust. He's constantly in your face, pressing you. I think that's what we've seen when we've seen Conor McGregor first lose to Nate Diaz. He just was right in his face. He's not giving him a chance. He can't use his usual counters that he likes to use. He'll get tired quicker. That's exactly what we've seen. as he was kind of lost. He was like, I'm not getting him out of there. He's not respecting my shots. All I'm doing is moving back. You could see he was just waiting for the bell to go. He wanted the fight to end because he realised he wasn't getting Sean out of there, and Sean wasn't taking a backward step. That's how you beat a counter fighter who likes to move on the back foot. Whereas I like my type of style is like I'm a counter fighter also, but I also like to use educated pressure, as in moving forward to make you react or throw shots, so then I can counter that rather than moving back, because there's only so far you can move back in a cage. And if you know how to cage cut and use the cage well, if you look at all the finishes in the UFC, they're kind of all against the cage. You didn't want to get stuck there. That's where most knockouts happen. And
it's one of those that caught a lot of people. Like nobody was really expecting it, and we're in a world where Sean Strickland is the champion of the world. I believe Sean Strickland should be seeing Dricus du Plessis.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're talking about the winner of Chimaev and Costa, and that's blowing my mind in itself. Like, what does du Plessis have to do to,
I'm not gonna lie, that's a fun fight, Costa Chimaev, but they two have they have no warrant, they have no credit to be fighting for the title. Like, what have they done? I mean, Chimaev's had maybe one fight in middleweight. Costa's been smashed off the champion. He's not really done. He's okay at the weight class. He's not beat the best guys. He's not won a title shot. Dricus is due it. Sean's got it.
Yeah,
I get that Izzy's probably been a dominant champion for a long enough time, so he's due a rematch. But maybe next.
Yeah,
Dricus is going to fight now. But then you forget that Dricus pulled out against that fight against Izzy there, and Sean jumped in. So it's between them three anyway. That's what I want to see. Chimaev and Costa, they're irrelevant at the moment. It's a fun fight. I'll watch that as a fan. It'll be cool to see how it ends up. But when it comes to title shot, I don't think any of them really wanted it.
I fully agree with you there. I think Dricus, for me, Dricus is the guy. Izzy can either wait or go and get a tune-up fight if he doesn't want to wait, because we know he's also an active fighter as well. He likes to fight 3-4 times a year. And if he doesn't want to wait for the winner, go and get a tune-up fight and basically see the winner of Strickland and Dricus, and then go from there. That's how I think he should go. But sometimes you just don't understand the UFC and how they're gonna maneuver.
It's a business. You forget it's a business. So whatever
true.
makes money makes sense. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. One more question on one of the fights that's coming up next. We've seen it before, but do we get the repeat of the same thing? Makhachev, do Bronx 2. These guys are in your weight class. You're looking at these guys.
That's a fun fight, bro. The first one I was excited for and I really enjoyed, but it was quite anticlimactic. Obviously, Islam got the finish, and I wanted to see a bit more from both of them. I think this one, the Bronx is coming in to try and get his title back, whereas Islam's trying to keep it. We've seen a wee bit of not weakness, but some flaws in Islam's game against Volkanovski there. So I wonder if that's gave Charles a wee bit of confidence, a wee bit of we kick up the arse that he needs. But I'm not. I want to see Charles get his belt back. I'm not going to lie. That's what I want to see. That would be wholesome for me to see that. Does it happen? I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I'm past the point where I try and pick fights in the UFC now.
Yeah,
it's too hard. It's too hard, man.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And everyone's got a puncher's chance. Anything can happen. I'm as a fan, I just sit and enjoy them now. I don't even. I don't bet. Like my friends betting that, and ask me, I'm like, bro. Unless it's a certainty and I know the person, or I've watched the lead up and I know how their mindset is going into it, I don't usually get too involved. I'm like, man, I'm just going to watch it like you and just see how it goes, because I could bet on this guy and then this could fucking happen. It's all up in the air, man. But I'm definitely going to be tuning in for that, because like I said, that's my weight class. Both great fighters. Great fighters I'd love to train with and mix it up. But I'd love to fight both of them exactly, actually. But I'm just going to watch it as a fan and see how it goes. But hopefully Charles can get it done. If not, Islam will probably fucking reign for a bit.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I love what you just said. You love to mix it up with both of them. Maybe
100%.
you can fight them at some point in your career, and hopefully they hang around long enough for you to be, move from Bellator to the UFC, because UFC is your promised land. It's every fighter's promised land. Everybody wants to get there, and these are the top guys at the very top of that division. And hopefully, at some point you get a chance to get over there. lastly, from me, you you've done a lot in your career, and you still got so much to do. And I'm talking all the way from amateurs coming through to where you are now. You're 5-0. What's the timeline for us to start expecting to see any kind of gold around the shoulders of Mark Ewen?
It's mental to think that I think I had my second pro fight 2 years ago today.
Mm,
Uh, and now I've just turned 5-0. Last fight was on Bellator. So within like 2 years, I've done all right. But the one thing is, I just feel like I've not even scratched the surface of what I want to accomplish in this game. I'm never gonna get too ahead of myself and start thinking that I've done it, or I'm there, or I'm even close because of the
mm,
shit I want to do, the goals I have.
mm.
They're just limitless. Like they're just massive. But seeing gold over my shoulder, mate. If I could put a kind of timeline on it, I would say maybe if everything goes to plan,
Mm.
by the end of this contract, I would like to see
Oh,
a gold over my shoulder. So let's say 2 years,
brilliant,
maybe
brilliant,
sooner. Like if
brilliant.
I could, I want to fight. I want to try and get 4 fights a year.
Mm,
This contract's 3 fights a year
mm.
for 2 years, but I've said I want to try and get a bit more. Do you know what I mean? By the end
Yeah,
of that contract, you could see. I'll probably renegotiate halfway through this. I'm not going to lie, but I want to see gold in my shoulder within 2 years,
yeah, man.
2 3 years. If it's at Bellator, I think 2 years. We'll see.
Yeah.
Another thing, bro, it's just sometimes it's just so hard to try and like. I used to always set my goals and I would set deadlines and I would set time frames,
Mm,
and sometimes when they wouldn't happen, bro, I would get a bit disheartened and annoyed at myself and be like, fucking
yeah.
get it. But then what would happen is something better would manifest.
Mm,
The exact goal wouldn't happen, but something better. Like I don't know if you've seen that video I put up long ago. It's like, what if it could work out better than you ever imagined?
yeah.
Like it might not happen to the exact specific date that I write down or the thing that I write down, but what's going to happen is going to be better than I ever could have imagined because the divine and the universe has got
Got you.
better plans for me.
Got you.
So I say 2 3 years, but it could be sooner, and it could be I could be Bellator champ and fucking UFC champ in like 4 or 5 years if I just let go. I let go of the attachment. I set my goals, but I let go of the attachment, and I'm not bothered what goes on in between it. I
Yeah.
just focus on getting better, enjoying myself, and I know it will all work out. Never lose sight that you get to control the end of the story. That's what I tell myself day in, day out. Never lose sight that you get to control the end of the story. It doesn't matter what happens in the middle. I don't care.
Mm.
It's how it ends. That's what I get to decide, and that's what I will decide.
Oh, you know what? There's no better way to end this interview right now than the way you just put it right there, controlling the end of the story, and that's something to take into life lessons for everybody that's out there that's listening. Whether you're a school teacher, or you're a warehouse worker, or you're a CEO or a manager somewhere, whatever it is that you do in life, apply that. What Max just said there, you being able to control the end of the story, and things will always look better for you in the long run. Mark, thank you so much for joining us once again. Every time we reach out to you, you always make it, the most easiest way to to reach out to you and join us. You never make it difficult, and we've appreciated you from day dot when we've been riding with you, and long may it continue. And hopefully down the line, we hopefully before, if you get the announcement for the next fight when it's coming up before December or in December, I would like to bring you back on the show, and and chat to you some more on what you got going on, is if that's all right with you.
Bro, it's always a pleasure coming on and chatting to you. You're a bro for life. If you ever want me to come on and have a chat, I'll come on. I mean, look at the top you're wearing. Do you know what I mean? Since we had that first conversation, you've had my back, mate. So I'll happily come on and chat to you. You're a bro for life, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
man.
you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. I really, really appreciate it. And before I end this, there's a man that had a big shout out for you, and me and him was speaking privately, and he didn't realize you was fighting in Dublin, and when he got so excited, and that's Hotso Bilal Ramopo. the EFC cage announcer.
Ah, nice.
He said so many good things about you, man. He was so happy for you making your debut at Bellator. So I just wanted to drop that in there as well, so you know
Thank
about
you, man. I love all the guys at EFC. They treated me so well. They're all great. I'm actually hoping that some of my teammates can get matched in EFC so I can selfishly go back and see everyone again
it.
and just experience that.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome, man. That would be awesome. And people, we have finished. We've come to the end of the show. Salute to Mark Ewen. Thank you so much for joining us. All the guys over there, higher level MMA. Big up to all those guys, the coaches over there, your whole team. Salute to all of those guys, man. And people, up until the next video. Hasta la vista. We're out. Big up.